Hello Stampers, it's Debbie with Stampin' with Debbie. I'd like to welcome you to my Facebook Live tonight. And we're going to be doing some fun projects with the Bonanza Buddies bundle. And I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to go ahead and get on here, and I'll get myself set up so that I can make sure we're all seeing the same information. And we'll get ready to go here. All right. So I'm again just want to welcome everybody to Facebook Live tonight. And again, we're using the Bonanza Buddies stamp set and the coordinating framelits. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the framelits look like that coordinate with the stamp set. So you do have a die that coordinates with the Koala Bear. This here is the lion, and I'm going to show you how to stamp that. And then the toucan and some banners. And then this is a little tag that you can create. Has a little hole at the top so that you could create a tag or a bookmark. So those are the coordinating framelits. Now these are still available. They were in our January through June mini catalog. And last I checked, they are still available. So if you're looking to order them, I would do it sooner than later, because once the items in that catalog sell out, they will not be available anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the stamp set. And I did want to just show you a few things. So I'm going to grab a couple of the blocks. I just wanted to show you real quickly. I did already stamp most of the images and I cut them out, but I wanted to show you how easily they stamped. And so I brought a little piece of scrap white paper here, and I'm going to try not to jiggle you around too much. And I just wanted to show you again. Now, I'm going to show you in a second. That's the toucan. And then the other ones actually take some different color inks. So for the Koala Bear, I'm using gray granite. And then he does have this little nose right here, his nose and eyes. And there's that. So that's very simple to stamp out there. I'm going to switch this out because I really wanted to show you the lion. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name of that. All right, so for the lion's body, you're going to stamp that. I stamped that in Daffodil Delight. And then for his mane, I'm going to do that in Mango Melody. And you're going to stamp it separate. And so when you put this through the die, through the dies in your Big Shot, it's going to stamp these two separately. And then this piece here, so I should stamp his face because it kind of looks like a monkey to me until you stamp the face. Okay, so, and like I said, I already cut all these out, so I don't have to use the Big Shot tonight to show you any of that. I thought it would save a little bit of time. But when you cut this out, I'll show you the pieces because I already did cut some out. You layer them on and it looks so adorable. So let me put these pieces away. And then I do want to show you real quickly, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't seen this, the coordinating designer paper is fabulous. All right, so let me put these blocks away. And then I'm going to show you the paper. So this is the paper, and on the designer paper, of course, they're all two-sided, but I wanted to show you that the die that comes in the kit, or in the set of dies, will cut out this koala bear. Now, it won't cut this one out with the hat, but there is a die for a hat. And then it'll cut out this toucan. And then there's also a sheet of the lion. So you would be able to cut out, I can't remember which one it is because his tail goes backwards on one, but you would be able to do that. You can also use a circle punch to punch those out, or square. So there's lots of good options for that. And again, all of the paper is two-sided, which is my favorite. I've been using a lot of it, so I don't have too much left. But lots of great, this one's full of ice cream cones, so it's real versatile for cards that you might need for young or old. Like I would mail this to an older male. So, all right, so let's get ready for our projects. Can you guys hear me okay? If somebody could just let me know that you can hear me okay. And hopefully you can't hear. My husband is doing some work on our house, and I'm hoping you're not going to be able to hear that. So if you can hear me, someone just tell me that we can hear okay, because I forgot to check the, oh, yep, okay, thanks. I forgot to check the volume on my phone before I started, so wanted to make sure I wasn't talking to myself. Okay, so with that in mind, I wanted to show you a couple cards. This is the first one, using this paper and the coordinating stamp set and dies tonight. And this is called a Z-fold card because when you put it up like this, it looks like a Z. And so this is actually, this one here is a double Z-fold because you've got this one and then you've got this piece inside. And I really like it because it will stand up by itself, so it's hard for you to see, but that's what it would look like if it was standing up on someone's desk. And it just is really a sweet card and would brighten someone's day. So I'm going to show you how to create that card. Let me get my pieces here, since I cut them all out already. I did cut out the koala bear. Oh, I saved the lion so I could show you how to put him together. I cut out a banner. I cut out a little square with the stitch squares. This is a piece that is 1 inch by 2.5. And then the other thing you need, this is a piece of Daffodil Delight. This is 4 1/4 by 11. And then this piece here can vary. I've seen people make a very skinny piece. I've seen people make a wider piece that is the whole center of the card. So it just all depends on how much of the inside of the card you want it to take up. I believe this one is 1 3/4, and then you just want to cut the other one. It's by 11. You want to cut the other one just 1/4 inch shorter. So this would be 1 1/2 by 11. I have some pieces of designer paper that will go inside. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And then these two pieces here are 2 1/4 by 4. We do need to do a little scoring. So I'm going to set those pieces aside. And I'm going to grab my scoreboard. We are going to score at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And then we're also going to put this piece in. Same measurement, 2 3/4, 5 1/2. And that's it. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder because of course we want all of our pieces to have a good secure fold here. So this part back here is going to fold like regular. So you're going to fold it in half and then fold this flat back. Use your bone folder. Now, when I first did it, I was thinking, here's the small score and this is going to go here, but it's actually the opposite. So this long piece is going to go here, and the shorter piece is going to go on the other end. So we're just going to fold that real quickly. Okay, and oops, I forgot. I want to score this one too because it just makes it a little bit easier when it goes on the other piece. So again, when you're doing your designer paper, you don't want to score too hard or you will score right through the paper and it will rip. All right. Give me just 1 second. I scored that wrong, and I'll show you what I did wrong. So you want to make sure that your piece is right side up, because remember I said this is the part that's going to go to the left of this card. So the 5.5, you have to score at 5.5 first and leave the 2 3/4 at the tail end, only because this paper is directional. Did that matter? So that's what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and put this piece onto my piece of yellow, the little second Z that will go through. And that does go right to the end. And then my score lines will match up. And then I can put this one aside for just a minute. I don't want to put it on just yet because I need to put my designer paper inside. So I'm going to take that 4 by 5 1/4 and put it here. And for anybody who's just logged on, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by to see me tonight. And I'm trying really hard to come up with some ideas to keep us all busy and spark some interest for all of us, like new ideas, just because sometimes we need some inspiration. If you've been following me, I did put the the inspiration post up at the top of the page so that if you're creating anything, I would love for you to inspire all of us. Just take a picture and post it up there. That would be wonderful. So now that I have this all on the inside, I'm ready to do a little bit of stamping. I have Bermuda Bay ink, and I need the happy birthday. And then this saying here says, I'm so glad it's your birthday so I can tell you how wonderful you are. I love this saying. Do you ever have a stamp set that you think, oh, I'm never getting rid of that? This is one of them because I love this saying so much. Okay, that's done. And then I need to stamp my happy birthday. I have that done. I'm going to put my ink away. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the banner in this piece here that will go on the front. I think I'm going to snip a little bit of that off because that feels a little long to me. I'm just going to cut a little banner. Oh, that went right up my sleeve. Okay, so that part is done. Now I do want to show you how to put the lion together. So once you put the dies through the Big Shot or whatever cutting you have, this is what it's going to look like. So the head of the lion is not in one piece anymore, which is what it looks like when it's stamped. So I like to take a dimensional and put on the back of the lion's head. And then that's going to go here in the mane. And one thing I did discover, if you shift, when you're stamping the eyes, just shift it off to the right a little bit. The lion will look like he's looking to the right. And if you shift it to the left, he'll look like he's looking to the left. And if you just put it center, he'll just be looking straight. So I thought it'd be really cute if you had one that was looking to the left and one that was looking to the right. Now, I don't know how other people put this part on. This is how I'm doing it. I'm putting a dimensional right there on his body because I want his head to be a little popped up. And then I'll put him on like that. Okay, so we're going to put that aside for 1 second. And then we're going to go ahead, and when we put this on, we don't want to glue it all the way down. This piece right here gets all the way glued down. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive. Liquid adhesive would be good here because it would cover a lot of the area. So you just have to decide how far up you want it to be. And that 11 inches brings it all the way to the edge. Okay, so again, only put adhesive on this part here at the end. This is going to be to the right of the card. This is the 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece. So you're going to put this down. Now you're going to flip this over, and this piece is going to come out. And then this is going on the front. So this is going down, that's going to fold back, this will go on the front. So how I did it, I kind of eyeballed where it was going to go, flipped it over, and I put some adhesive. Then I closed my card up because then I know it'll go right where it needs to naturally fall for the card. And now the card's ready to put our other little pieces on. I did put my happy birthday on with a couple dimensionals. And I'm going to line that up with the designer paper. And then what I tried to do on this, because you have to be real careful when you're doing a Z-fold, how you're putting things in. So I did not put anything here because if I put something here, it's going to come up backwards here, if that makes sense. So I really was very careful about how I placed things. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set my toucan there, put my little lion in here where I think I want him to be, and then my koala bear. So I really feel like my toucan could go over just a little so he doesn't get too buried. So what I'm going to do is pull the koala out, and I'm going to put adhesive on just on the front of him, and then I'm going to slide him down in that groove there. So you'll just see a little bit of him. You're not going to see his whole legs and everything. Now if you wanted his whole body to show and you wanted him to be taller, you could glue a little strip of paper on the back of him and glue that down here so that his body would be up further. All right, so the toucan's going to be next because I need to see how he's going to line up, and I don't want his beak to go too far in there. And I did forget to say, with the toucan, there is a little piece that you can stamp his beak. But since I wanted it 3 different colors, I colored it with Poppy Parade, the light Mango Melody, and dark Pumpkin Pie. I just wanted it 3 different colors, but there is a little stamp in that set that will stamp one color if you want to. So now the lion is the last to go on, and I kind of like him here because they all look like they're just hanging out. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to put adhesive on the bottom part of his body because remember the top part of his body has that dimensional. And so there's that part. Now I'm going to open the card up, and from the dies I did, maybe if I can pick it up, I cut this little banner. And I kind of wanted it to stretch up a little bit because these are thin. You can do that. You can kind of force it where you want it to go. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of these, or you could use really liquid adhesive would be better than trying to put this adhesive on, or a glue dot. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's up at the corner. My koala bear is kind of a little in the way. And then I'm going to stretch it so that this corner or this end of the banner matches up there. And then when we fold this card, that will just fold right where it needs to fold. And so there is our card. Whoops, we forgot to put this part in. I forgot to put this part in. So I kind of put part of the banner over there. I probably should have moved it over a little bit, but that's okay. We'll put it in there and the banner will run behind the greeting. And I'll just put that right there. I'm going to line it up with the designer paper. And there it is. So now our friends are all on the outside of the card celebrating your birthday. How fun is that? And if you wanted to write a little greeting, you could put another little piece of white cardstock over this, or even over these two to write a message, because if you fold it up, you're not going to see that when it's folded. So there's card number 1. What do you think? Do you like that one? Is it something you think you might use to do you guys do a lot of kids cards? I'm in a couple groups, different groups, and I find that not for my family members, because a lot of my nieces and nephews are grown now, but now they're having kids, so it definitely is a card I would use for them. But I'm in a couple card groups, and I do send out cards to kids quite often. And actually, another thing that I do for kids cards is I go to the hobby stores and I get the little sheets of stickers and I put stickers in there. So I like to do that for people just because I know kids love stickers so much. So that's card number 1. Now, I have to tell you, card number 2, usually, maybe I shouldn't say this, I'm usually not nervous at all about making a card. This one has a few cuts and it has to be done just so. So I'm really hoping to not mess it up. So if I do, I'm apologizing already. And that's, you know, that's life. Sometimes we cut a piece of paper and we think we're going to do something with it, and then we're like, oh, that didn't quite go the way we planned it. So this is the card that I'm making. This is also called a Z-fold. And I put a little ribbon on the front. You don't have to, but I put a little ribbon on the front just so that it I was just looking at a message that Dina said most of her groups don't like making kids cards. I love making kids cards because they're so much fun and they're so whimsical. So this is called, I think it's called a tall Z-fold. And originally, the pattern that I saw was much, much taller. So you can make it as tall as you want to, but I wanted to be able to get this in an envelope. And so here's the inside. Now you do end up putting a piece of designer paper back here, and it's only really to be able to see it from the back. So when you open it up, and again, it's a Z-fold. So let's get started. Again, I've already stamped everything. I will need to put my lion together again, but this is the card. Now, if you need to, you know that you can always go back and you can watch the videos over again if you need to. So if you aren't writing down the measurements, that's okay, because you can come back later and rewatch it. Just go to the left side and click on video. And so while I'm opening this up, it would be a good time to say, if you are watching this through YouTube, I would greatly appreciate if you would click the subscribe button. And after you hit subscribe, click on the little bell so that you never miss a post. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, come on over to my Facebook and join us. It's facebook.com/stampitwithdebbie. Okay, now this piece of paper starts out with an 8.5 by 11. We're going to cut it to 9 3/4 by 5.5. And then I'm going to put this down because we don't need that part yet. And then I'm going to get my scoreboard out. And you just need a couple scores. You need one at 3 1/4 and one at 6 1/2. That just makes each panel 3 1/4 so that when you fold it up, they're all even. So 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. And then we're all done scoring. Now, you will need a ruler because, and we're going to use our cutting board just one more time, but this is going to be the front panel. So what we want to do is we want to, trying to figure out how to do this, we want to go about 2 inches up from the bottom, and we want to make a mark. And actually, I probably should have made that over here. And this does not have to be perfect. This card is kind of loose, so we can do that. Now, while we have the ruler out, we are going to, on these 2 panels right here, so this is the one we just marked at 2 inches, these 2, we're going to go up 1/4 inch, and it doesn't matter where you make your mark, just 1/4 inch up and make a little mark. Then also on this 3rd panel, so 1, 2, 3 on the 3rd panel, 1/4 inch again. So now this is very important. Let's pretend this is the front of the card. Here's our 2 inch mark, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. We're going to turn it over, and on this middle panel, we're going to mark 1/4 inch again. Okay, now this is where we need our cutter, again, whatever trimmer that you have. We are going to line this 2 inch mark right here that we made with our pencil, the very first one we made, up with this corner of the card. So now I'm going to just pause for a minute. If you want this part of your card to be a little bit taller, you're going to go higher than 2 inches. This is what we're cutting right here. So again, the 2 inch mark is in that little cutting part. This is the cutting part where the blade's going to go down here. So that's the 2 inch mark, and this is the corner. Just go ahead and put that down. We're going to cut that off. All right, don't have your cutting trimmer too far away. So now again, this is the front of my card, right? And I think I did something wrong. I didn't get 2 inches. What did I do? See, I knew I was gonna be a goofball here. You guys, I don't even know what I did. All right, let's do it again. That's 2 inches. I swear I had it at 2 inches, but at least I figured it out before I got too far. All right. Let's try this again. There's my 2 inch mark. There's my corner. That looks better. All right, put your trimmer aside. If you can see any of your mark there, you're going to want to take that off. You guys, you know what I just did? This is why I goofed up. I cut off the wrong side. Now I have to make I cut off the side that had all my little 1/4 inch marks. So now I have to go back and do it again. So patience with me for just 1 second. I promise it will be worth it. I'm going to turn it over. Okay. So now what we need to do is I have cut 3 pieces of designer paper. And these are all from the Bonanza Buddies coordinating paper. This one is cut at 3 by 3 1/4. This one is cut at 3 by 4 1/4. This one is cut at 3 by 5 1/2. Obviously, they're stepping up this way, so you'll have to decide which way you want your paper. Now, I've seen a couple different ways to do this. This is what works for me, so if you see something that works a little better, definitely try it. I've seen where they have a whole sheet of paper and they cut it out, but that seemed to be a lot of waste to me. Now, the reason I left 1/4 inch is because normally you leave 1/4 inch around each of the sides. Well, if you put this up like this on the 1/4 inch and then you cut it off, you're not going to have any gap at the side. So I'm going to move this up to the 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to hold it firmly in place and turn it over and make a line there. So now I know where, you can see I made a line. I'll cut it off and it should fit perfectly. Now you have to be very careful about where your pieces are going, and you can't just measure this piece from the front, because if you do, you'll actually end up with whatever's on the back, which that's okay too. So move it to the back, line it up with that 1/4 inch mark that you made, turn it over, and draw a line. And then the last piece needs to be on the front again. It's so hard. How do I put that on the back? Isn't that so hard to cover up that cute little face? Okay, so I have it on my 1/4 inch mark. It's on the correct side. This is where I'm going to be putting the paper. I'm going to turn it over to the back side and make a line. I'm going to set my card aside, and this is where I have to bring my trimmer back. We're going to line that line up in that cutting area of our trimmer and cut that off of all 3 of them. And this does not have to be perfect at all. It just has to be close, because one of the pieces you really don't even see. The one in the middle, you don't see too much of it. Okay, so now our card is back. I am going to erase those little score marks. My designer paper should cover it up okay, but just in case. Okay, so the card is going to fold back. So this front piece is going to fold back. And you'll know if you folded it the wrong way if your designer paper doesn't fit the way you wanted it to. So this is going to be my front piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on there. And then, so when you open it up, there's not going to be any here, but remember, we want to have a piece that's back here so that you can see it from the front of the card. Okay, so we're really not going to see it on the inside, and you're not going to see too much of it. When you open the card, it's just really for design so that you can see the fun balloons when you have the card all folded up. And then this is the last piece. It will go right here on the front of the card. And so what I like to do when I'm making a card like this is I kind of look at it, I put the pieces in place and look at them before I adhere them down. And this was one of them that I did have to cut up a scrap piece of paper as I was going, just because I didn't want to ruin my pretty designer paper. So I kind of made little templates and got that right. So, because like I said, I wanted to make it short enough to fit in the envelope. So it's 5.5 inches long by 3 inches wide. So here's our card. And I have a scalloped circle, and I'm going to use Bermuda Bay. Ooh, whew, I'm breathing a sigh of relief, you guys. I want you to know that I was really worried because I was practicing with this and I thought for sure I was going to cut something the wrong way, and then it wasn't going to fit, and I was going to have to say oops, and then I was going to have to run into my office and get a new piece of paper. So I'm thankful that that went well. Have you guys ever made an oopsie with a card? I one time was getting ready for a craft show, and my husband was helping me put cards into an envelope because when I sell them, I put the card with the envelope, and he said, did you mean to do this one backwards? Because I put everything on the front, so the card opened from the left side. So I kind of goofed a little bit on that, but I've done some wonky things sometimes. I try to be really careful, but sometimes I think we just get too engrossed in what we're doing, and it was kind of like clockwork, and I put it in the wrong place, so it was an easy fix. But All right, my little cute toucan Sam is going to go right there. Karen says her Oops is her middle name. Why is Oops your middle name? Oh, Oops is her middle name. I get it. Yeah. It's, you know, it just is what it is. Like, we just got to know how to fix it, whatever it is. And everything can be fixed. All right. Sue says she once decorated the envelope instead of the card base. Oh, no. Well, I guess your envelope was decorated, but it probably wasn't something that could go through the mail, huh? That happens. All right, I put that fun saying on the inside. I'm going to... There's one more greeting in this set, and it says, "Let's celebrate you." And I decided to put that one in the middle, just because it needed something. And then that's where I'm going to put the koala. And I thought he would be cute here. Now, if you wanted to sign here, you could maybe move the koala over just a little more. So I'm going to put this lion together one more time here. I'm really having fun creating, but my husband and I are still trying to get our stuff painted. And at the beginning, I was super excited to paint the living room, but now I'm kind of, yeah, over it, because we painted the living room, the dining room, and our bathroom, because before all of this, we already had scheduled carpet, and I thought it was going to be so much fun to have everything new, but now I'm kind of like, nah, I just would rather be doing something different than painting all day. So, as you can see, from the inside here, I have him holding balloons. I realize you can't see much of the strings, but that's okay. So I'm going to kind of put him, you have to be careful because of, and I guess you could stamp the words over a little, but you want the balloons to be kind of behind his hand. So I'm going to stamp those in there. Clean off my stamp. And now I'm going to kind of put him over that. I need to put one more dimensional because the top of his head is balanced by the other dimensional. So I'll kind of put him over as far as I can. And then these little circles, you could use a circle punch, but these came from the die set as well. And so I'm just going to use a glue dot to glue those on. There, you can see a little bit more of the string. And so I did bring along my ruched ribbon, and that is in Daffodil Delight. So let me put the string back on this one. It's hopefully will just go right back on there. And there's that one. And then, like I said, you don't have to put a ribbon. I just thought that it was cute and held it together a little bit. So I decided to put it on there. So just so you know, if you're watching and you don't have a demonstrator, first of all, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can order through my online store at stampitwithdebbie.stampinup.net. And our I'm struggling with the name because we used to call it Occasions Catalog. Our January through June mini catalog is about to come to an end soon. And so some of the items are already starting to sell out of the annual catalog, and some are on low inventory. So if there is anything that you want, I would recommend ordering as soon as you can, so that you don't miss out, because once these dies and stamps are gone, they don't usually resurface. Every once in a while the dies will resurface, but if you have the stamp set, it's just not really a chance that you want to take that you don't have the cute dies to go with it. So if you're looking to order, visit my online store, and if you place an order of $50 or more, I will send you a surprise gift in the mail. I really appreciate everyone taking time to stop by and leave some comments. Let me know which one in the comments, which one is your favorite, which one you'd be more apt to make, the tall Z-fold or the double Z-fold. I'm curious. And just so you know, like you can use this, you put flowers on this, you can just use designer paper with it. So if you make one, I did pin the post to the top for inspiration. So if you make a Z-fold card or any of the other cards that we've been making, or you just come up with one of your own designs, put it up there and give us some inspiration. I see a couple people have been doing that, and I appreciate it so much. And I will be back again tomorrow night, and we will have some more inspiration for stamping. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.